Hello, I'm April Pylon, founder and CEO of Trove Therapeutics. Trove is a clinical stage biotech company developing a novel biologic product called Therabron to treat respiratory diseases including severe COVID-19 infection, chronic sinusitis, and pulmonary fibrosis. Therabron is a recombinant version of the native human CC10 protein, which has been called the respiratory tract protector in the literature. CC10 protects lungs, maintains lung homeostasis, and mediates lung repair. Therabron is a clinical stage first-in-class biologic that replaces low levels of CC10 in respiratory diseases. Native CC10 protein is expressed primarily in airway epithelial cells called club cells and is the most abundant protein in healthy airways. CC10 is a multifunctional protein, and Therabron mediates many biological activities that can benefit respiratory patients. Most respiratory diseases have deficiencies of native CC10, and Therabron can replace it. CC10 deficiencies can be caused by either damage to airway epithelium and loss of club cells due to pathogens and environmental insults, or by genotype, which results in lower CC10 production and predisposes towards respiratory, autoimmune, and cardiovascular diseases. The consequences of CC10 deficiency are susceptibility to damage to the lungs, increased inflammation and bronchoconstriction, increased frequency and severity of respiratory infections, and loss of lung function. Chronic renal fibrosis and hypertension are also associated with CC10 deficiency. Therabron and CC10 have multiple mechanisms of action, engineered by evolution, to target lung, immune, and vascular endothelial cells. Therabron is effective in treating and preventing many types of lung injuries, and these examples have all been published in the literature. The references are given at the end of this presentation. Trove has a rich product pipeline based on 3 different formulations of Therabron that are delivered by 3 different routes of administration to treat and prevent different respiratory conditions. Trove's portfolio consists of 3 clinical stage products for respiratory indications, with over $1 billion U.S. markets for each. Trove owns rights to all relevant patents and other intellectual property. The first problem that we'll solve is hypoxic hospitalized COVID-19 patients who are ventilated to keep them alive during acute respiratory distress syndrome, or ARDS. They experience overwhelming inflammation, prolonged recovery with sometimes permanent loss of lung function, and a high risk of death. The solution is intravenous Therabron. Our data shows that we can improve survival, keep people off of the ventilator or get them off of the vent faster, reduce inflammation, reduce time to hospital discharge, and reduce the time it takes to return to normal daily activities. Therabron can replace deficient CC10 in severe viral infections and pneumonia. It's a lung host defense, homeostasis, and repair protein, so it doesn't matter what virus caused respiratory failure. If we develop Therabron, we will not only treat people for which vaccines, antivirals, and corticosteroids just don't work, we will also be ready for the next pandemic. We calculate a $6 billion U.S. market for Therabron in COVID-19 and influenza, and a $12 billion market worldwide. The second problem that we'll solve is persistent sinusitis, which affects 20 million patients in the U.S. Sinusitis is treated with oral antibiotics, and symptoms are managed using cold and allergy medicines and corticosteroids. But 10 to 20% of patients don't respond to corticosteroids and get little relief. The solution is intranasal Therabron, which replaces low CC10 in nasal airways and decreases inflammation and fibrosis. We believe that Therabron will decrease sinus pain and pressure and increase the time between exacerbations that require antibiotic treatment, or even cure some patients. Therabron will not be a first-line drug in chronic sinusitis, but it will treat the 10 to 20% of patients who don't respond to corticosteroids, and this is still several million people in the U.S. For patients requiring sinus surgery, it can stimulate repair of healthy nasal epithelium to increase the time between surgeries in these patients, or even prevent the need for further surgeries. The third problem that we'll solve is pulmonary airway fibrosis. We are initially targeting chronic lung allograft dysfunction, or CLAD, which is fatal in half of all lung transplant recipients within 6 years of diagnosis. Other indications of interest include rehabilitation from severe COVID-19 infection, severe asthma and COPD, and bronchiectasis. The solution is inhaled Therabron, which again replaces low CC10 and lung airways to improve survival, preserve and improve lung function, decrease infectious exacerbations, and improve respiratory symptoms and quality of life. There are no approved therapies to treat or prevent CLAD. Therabron may even regenerate fibrosed airways to rehabilitate some patients. Therabron is de-risked because it is a replacement for native CC10. Patients who experience the most severe COVID-19 infections are those with pre-existing CC10 deficiencies. Moreover, Therabron was safe in 3 clinical trials and has already shown efficacy in treating ARDS in animal and human studies. So Therabron has an excellent chance of success. Trove is supported by a team of experienced management, advisors, mentors, and experts. I'm the founder, CEO, and chief scientist with over 25 years of experience in small biotech and biologic drug development, and I'm the leading expert on Therabron. My team has deep experience in biopharmaceutical product development, clinical trials, and business development, and includes key opinion leaders in pulmonology and infectious disease. In summary, Trove has all the elements needed to take Therabron through at least one successful phase 2 clinical trial, and then partner with a larger company to take it through approval and commercialization in up to 3 indications. Our objectives at China Focus include securing equity financing to support clinical product development and a corporate partner to support commercialization of Therabron. With a Chinese partner, Therabron can be developed in both the US and China at the same time to maximize value. You can contact me by email or phone. Thank you for your time and attention.